because we read all of them, right?
Yeah.
But I think that like basically the structure of Twitter enables people to kind of like feed into that response because there is no. It's very difficult to read these.
Exactly. I will say, like, as somebody who is genuinely interested in many of the things that are covered in all of these, and I have no problem reading. It was kind of a slog to get through. But I will say, like, it was when the initial ones came out, I think it was kind of a shock to, I don't know how much of a shock, but like, you know, like Elon Musk is sort of, you know, using fudge numbers maybe, but like one of the richest men in the world, right?
Yes.
And it's like, you know, him sort of like, and it's very
On
clear
paper,
that he is
unrealized.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. You know, maybe not all liquid, but, you know, the whole world's not liquid either. I don't know what I meant by that. But, you know, he's sort of feeding these documents. We don't really have any context for these documents. And the thing that actually bugs me is we can't actually see most of these documents themselves. Like, I think what Twitter should have done, and there's no way they would have, but like something that would have, I think, let people actually see really how this was run was actually just release full tranches of these documents and let people go through them Pizzagate style.
I don't think that was
I would have loved that. But I will say that the very first thread that dropped was, I think, by Matt Taibbi.
Yes.
About Hunter Biden. And, you know, thinking back, listen, we are Hunter haters here.
Yes.
We don't love him.
No.
You know? And I say this as somebody.
Fucking Hunter Biden? Are people out of their mind?
I love crack. You know? Oh my God. Once you smoke crack, you're like, I get why there's crackheads. But I will say, like, Hunter's cavalier treatment of crack and the fact that, like, I feel like nobody was really processing, like, the president's son is a fucking crackhead.
I mean, I think some people would process it.
Yeah, I know, but like it blew my mind. I was like, that is insane.
I know. It's crazy.
But also making these like he's just a typical sort of like fail son playboy. I mean, I don't even think, definitely not typical actually, but like making millions of dollars from being this like a much worse person than like even some of the worst people I know.
Well, he's a Biden.
Exactly.
But,
you know.
If you've been listening to this podcast for long enough, then you've heard us talk about fucking Hunter Biden and the Hunter Biden emails.
Exactly. Yeah. So the first Twitter files were.
Wait, before we get into the files, I want to say one last thing.
Okay. Which
is just as a kind of overview, I think the most fascinating thing from all of that you kind of piece together from all of these different, I think they're each a tranche, let's say. Tranches.
Yeah.
How about that?
There's tranches.
Okay, how about whatever. I like it. I like it better. What if they should have called it the Twitter tranches? God damn it.
This is you know what? This is why she's Betty Branding.
That's the name of the episode. I think if anything, like one of the most fascinating things about this that I really, it bugs me when I see people just kind of like hand waving this stuff away. Like, oh, it's just these like, oh, it's Taibbi, Barry Weiss, blah, 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 whatever. Is that like just having any kind of insight into the like internal debates that were happening, like among one of the largest social platforms, right, in the world, like social media platforms, like having a glimpse into kind of like how moderation of social media at that scale gets debated and hashed out. Like, and we'll talk about like kind of some of the decision making there and the ramifications and all that, blah, blah, blah. But like those points of contention and having a window into like how this gets kind of done and what these kind of difficult decisions are is like completely and totally fascinating. Like we don't have access to any of that, you know. I think a lot of people are just like, oh, this is all stuff we kind of knew, but it's like, no, but this is so. I don't know. Seeing these kind of conversations play out over email, and you know, especially at some of the biggest points of contention, right? The 2020 election, fucking COVID-19, 5G, coronavirus. Get the facts. Remember? Like,
I do.
It's so. I don't know. I think that is like definitely interesting, and to kind of hand wave it away is like very stupid. Well, however, one last point.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's very difficult to understand what the point of all of this is.
Yes.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.